In one night, an ancient kingdom burned. For millennia, the High Elves of Kael'thas thrived, their magnificent civilization powered by a radiant font of arcane magic called the Sunwell. Their gleaming spires pierced the sky, a testament to their pride and power, but that all came to an end. This is the saga of the Blood Elves, a tale of glory, loss, and the desperate, often dark path to redemption. It began with the Third War. Prince Arthur's Manethel, champion of the undead scourge, carved a path of death right through the heart of their kingdom. Nearly 90% of the High Elven population was slaughtered, their ancient king, Kael'thas Sunstrider, falling in a desperate last stand. Arthas's goal was the Sunwell itself. He corrupted its sacred waters to resurrect a powerful lich, leaving the fount of elven power tainted and poisonous. Prince Kael'thas Sunstrider, the king's son, returned from the magical city of Dalaran to find his homeland a smoldering grave. In honor of their fallen kin, and to forever remember the blood that was shed, Kael'thas renamed the survivors. They were no longer High Elves. They were the Cinderella, the Blood Elves. To save what little remained, he made an agonizing choice. He destroyed the corrupted Sunwell. But its loss unleashed a new horror. Without its energy, the elves suffered a crippling withdrawal. A deep, lethargic pain racked their bodies in agonizing addiction to a magic that no longer existed. Desperate to save his people, Kael'thas sought help from the human-led alliance. He left his regent, Lurthamar Therin, to guard Kael'thas, and led a small force to join the fight against the Scourge. But the welcome was cold. The human commander, Grand Marshal Garithos, was a bigot who saw the elves as cannon fodder, assigned them impossible suicidal missions, hoping to be rid of them for good. Pushed to the edge of annihilation, Kael'thas found an unlikely ally, Lady Vash and her serpentine Naga. Seeing no other choice, he accepted their aid to survive Garithos' treacherous commands. But this act was twisted into treason. Garithos accused Kael'thas of conspiring with the enemy, imprisoning him and his followers in the dungeons of Dalaran, sentenced to death. The alliance had utterly betrayed them. When Vash returned to break them out, Kael'thas didn't hesitate. They escaped through a portal to the shattered world of Outland, leaving their former allies and their old lives far behind. In the alien wastes of Outland, Kael'thas pledged his loyalty to a new master, the infamous demon hunter, Illidan Stormridge. Illidan promised the Blood Elves not a cure for their addiction, but a new source to feed it. He would teach them to siphon magic from other sources, even from demons themselves. It was a dark pact, but Kael'thas saw no alternative. His people would perish otherwise. Under Illidan's tutelage, the Blood Elves learned to drain and consume fell energy. This demonic magic soothed their withdrawal but came at a cost. Their eyes, once blue, now burned with an emerald-green fire, permanent mark of the fell taint. Empowered, they helped Illidan conquer the Black Temple, a new fortress for their growing army. They fought alongside Illidan in a bold assault on the Lich King himself at Isochrone, but it ended in a crushing defeat. Arthas grievously wounded Illidan, forcing a humiliating retreat back to Outland. Despite the failure, Kael'thas sent a message of hope back to his people on Azeroth. He dispatched Grand Magister Ramoth to Kael'thas, carrying Illidan's teachings, which Ramoth presented as Kael'thas' own discoveries. Ramoth taught the elves in Silvermoon to siphon arcane energy from magical creatures and mana crystals, easing their suffering. With this new power, the Blood Elves rebuilt their capital, Silvermoon City, from the ruins almost overnight. They reclaimed their lands from the lingering scourge, their society reborn under a stricter, more unified rule, all while clinging to the belief that their prince would one day return as their savior. But standing alone was no longer an option. The Alliance's betrayal was a wound that would not heal. Instead, an unexpected offer of alliance came from Sylvanas Windrunner, the Banshee Queen of the Forsaken Undead. In life, she had been the Ranger General of Silvermoon, and her loyalty to her homeland endured even in death. With the Forsaken's help, the Blood Elves secured their borders. This pivotal partnership paved the way for Kael'thas to officially join the Horde. At a time when the Alliance had cast them aside, the Horde offered them a place, resources, and allies. The Cinderella were no longer alone. But in Outland, Prince Kael'thas was spiraling into darkness. Disillusioned with Illidan's failures, he secretly made a new pact. This time with the demon lord Kil'jaeden, a master of the Burning Legion. He betrayed Illidan, swearing himself to the very demons his people had fought. His quest for salvation had twisted into a lust for ultimate power. His forces began committing atrocities, and his descent into madness became undeniable. A group of his own followers, led by Voronthal the Seer, defected. They called themselves the Scryers, and allied with the Holy Naru in Shatrath City to stop their prince's madness. Heroes of the Alliance and Horde, backed by the Scryers, confronted Kael'thas in his fortress, Tempest Keep, and defeated him. Presumed dead, he shocked everyone by returning to Kael'thas, not as a savior, but as a traitor. At the head of a demonic army, he assaulted Silvermoon City itself. He stole the captive Naru, Muru, which had been used to power the Blood Elves' new paladins, the Blood Knights. He also kidnapped a young woman named Anvina, who was secretly the living embodiment of the Sunwell's essence. His plan was horrifying. On the sacred Isle of Quel'Danas, he intended to use Muru and Anvina to transform the dormant Sunwell into a massive portal, a gateway to summon Kil'jaeden into Azeroth. The prince who had once sworn to save his people was now ready to sacrifice them and the entire world for demonic power. The Blood Elves were heartbroken. Their hero had become their greatest enemy. Lurthamar Theron and Lady Liadrin, leader of the Blood Knights, allied with the Scryers and their rivals, the Alder, to form the Shattered Sun Offensive. They launched a desperate counterattack on the Isle of Quel'Danas. In a final cataclysmic battle at the Sunwell Plateau, Kael'thas Sunstrider was finally slain. Heroes managed to push Kil'jaeden's titanic form back through the portal just as it was closing, thwarting the Legion's invasion. Kael'thas' mad dream was over, but the Sunwell was forever changed. In the aftermath, the Draenei prophet Velen arrived. He took the fallen core of the Naru Maru and, in an act of supreme sacrifice, used its holy essence to reignite the Sunwell. A miracle occurred. Where there had once been arcane power and then fell corruption, a new font of energy erupted, a perfect balance of holy light and arcane magic. The renewed Sunwell offered the Cinderei a second chance. Its blessed light began to gradually heal their addiction and their wounded souls. Regent Lord Lurthamar Theron proclaimed a new dawn for Kael'thas. The path of the Blood Elves has been one of unimaginable tragedy, stained by pride, betrayal, and dark magic. But through it all, they endured. Their story is a testament to survival against all odds, and the unyielding resolve to find salvation, no matter the cost. What part of the Blood Elves' journey do you find the most compelling? Was Kael'thas a tragic hero or a villain from the start? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Warcraft lore, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.